Welcome to an episode of Mission Podcast. This is Liverpool related. We've kicked off Omer, Bobs, and Jacob, and we brought in the big guns, me and Carpe. From the last episode, we've got Salah and Danny still standing, and today we're in the international break. And there's plenty of things that have happened since the last episode, and we thought we might as well address it. The Such as the small matter of a Carabao Cup final, and we're going to be talking also about the run into to the end of the season, as well as contract issues, transfer windows, and where we would be going for next season. So we'll start with Danny then, just as you were on the last podcast. What were your thoughts before the final, and how has that now transpired for what's happened in the final?
Yeah, I was relatively confident before the final started. I thought the players would have, improved from what we put out on Tuesday, which was a disgrace. And I thought, players would fix up and we'd win a comfy 2-0. Newcastle haven't really been in much finals. We've got the experienced players on the pitch, the big ones, Van Dijk, Trent, Salah, Alisson, and our midfield. I thought we'd dispatch her with ease. And then as soon as the game started, I just don't know what happened. We just looked leggy. We just lost every duel, every ball. Newcastle just looked 10 times onto it. There was a clear team that wanted to win on that pitch, and it was Newcastle. They just looked better at everything. Defense, midfield, attack. Our midfield won absolutely nothing. I feel like got it wrong from the off. The tactics, I don't think they were on point. Our attack normally carried by Salah, who wasn't performing at his best. The other two just didn't step up like normal. I feel like our best player was probably, I'd say, Alisson, as he's been for the last couple of weeks. So yeah, I don't know what happened. I feel like our players' legs were gone. Bridge, McAllister to an extent, Soberslide, and maybe the front three we could have refreshed. Maybe Kaiser, as we see when he came on, with that beautiful pass from Elliot, another player who I think deserved a start after the first game against PSG. So yeah, I mean, the final just had me really annoyed. But we can't really complain about it. The better team on the now one. Newcastle were just much better. We didn't get robbed or anything. We just didn't look good at it. So yeah, especially that first half performance, I feel like it was just pathetic. There's no way the players put up that performance after what we seen on Tuesday. Like no motivation, nothing. It was just the most annoying performance ever. There's been games in finals, especially where we've not won, but we've performed to a relatively good degree, like where the players could keep their heads held up high. But this final, I just felt like there was nothing to it. It's we didn't want to win at all. Annoyed.
It makes me feel like the kids from last year. We say kids, they're pretty much they're younger than us. The guys that played last year, they showed a lot more heart, determination, and that's kind of what really drives Liverpool fans now. Carpe, I understand that you were at the game. Speaking of Liverpool fans, I heard you've got something to get off your chest with them.
Bro, our fans, yeah, were dreadful. Up like the Geordies were giving it to us like from minute 1 to 90. Oh, I don't know what it is. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna hate on the Scousers. Obviously, I think the Scousers were like trying their best to get an atmosphere going. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not even trying to be racist, and it's just too many tourists, bro, at the game. These people don't even care. They're just filming the whole time, taking selfies. I get it, you're at a final. Yeah, take your pictures. Feel free to do that, but bro, support the team, make some noise, make some atmosphere. Just the atmosphere was flat. We played flat. It was just a terrible, terrible day, wasn't it? But we've got to give credit where credit's due. Newcastle were amazing, and I'm happy for them, man. That's a club that deserve it. Their fans deserve it. How many years has it been? 70 years or something.
Yeah,
I think
70
since
years
they
since
last won a
a
trophy.
yeah, it
And
was
yeah,
70 years since Wembley or something like that. Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, they just outclassed us on the day, man. We just had no answers for them, bro. Dan Burn, what a player, bro. He was amazing, bro. He was the best player on the pitch, I think, the one I was watching it. But yeah, and I don't know if we can look too deeply into this because I think players are just burnt out, in my opinion. Slot hasn't really rotated much in the last few months, and it's catching up to us, really, isn't it?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really blame him for that though. I think it's more of a case of, we're on the cusp of a league title. So I'm not even gonna say a bad word towards him about, oh, maybe he should have played Endo more and given Gravenberch a rest, or you know, played Simicast over Robertson, Chiesa over Jota or Diaz. It's worked for us. It's going to deliver us hopefully a league title. Um, but that's something we kind of need to look forward to, though. We need to make sure we don't get into a situation where Tuesday we play 120 minutes of PSG, and then if we've got a big league game, on the weekend, we need to make sure that we have adequate replacements just in case. We don't really have that. Like we had Quansah at right back, um, and he's a good player. He's Joel Quansah, but he's no Conor Bradley at right back. He's no Joe Gomez, and he's certainly no Trent Alexander-Arnold. So we kind of really need to think about how we improve. Salah, your
Yeah.
thoughts on the final? What did you think about Newcastle's performance? How did they break? How did they really break us down? You're very technical in your thinking, so
I think they didn't do anything special, but I think the saying is your midfield wins you games pretty much, and Newcastle's midfield was just full of energy. We were all leggy. I mean, he put the same theme out from the game against PSG. I mean, again, you're saying Slot can't make mistakes, but in my opinion, you've got to look at it like this: like the whole team that played on Sunday had 120 minutes played against PSG, and he took off Sobosai, he took off McAllister, even though they should have taken pens. Why? Because they were absolutely knackered. So to then just throw them in against Newcastle on Sunday didn't really make sense. But I think Newcastle's midfield wanted the game. And then on top of that, our set pieces, we were poor in set pieces. I think there was a stat that Burn, every single corner Newcastle delivered into the box, Burn always got his head to it. And we had McAllister marking Dan Burn. So I don't know what Slot had in plan in terms of the marking on the corners, but it just certainly didn't work. But I'll go back to Danny. What Danny said was perfect. Like the team who wanted it more on the day, they wanted the final, and it couldn't have been a better team than Newcastle. So you got to give credit where it's due. To be fair,
I
Yeah.
certainly hear that. Yeah, I was just about to make. I was hoping someone would buck up on a point, and then we'll have a bit of awkward silence there, guys. Cheers, man. Flipping it. It's a podcast. Get talking. um, Honestly, contrary to a lot of popular opinion about, oh, we like Newcastle and stuff, man, I hate them. Bro, I hate them. I absolutely despise them. I'm gonna get absolutely cooked by a friggin' true Geordie and them man there, man. But I hate them.
Wait,
Listen,
why do you hate Newcastle so much?
why do
Is it like a
okay, listen. It's not like a childhood thing. It's come about very recently. Their assistant manager is brother. It's Ramadan,
okay?
man.
I
I'm not
hear
even gonna
that.
say it. I just don't like him. I remember the game back at St James's Park last year, and Tyndall came over to Klopp and started shushing him after Anthony Gordon scored. And then Nunes got that brace, Darwizzy. And like ever since that day, I just hated them. And you know what it is? I'm justified in that. They're a team that have gotten the Saudi backing, yeah, and they think they're big boys now. You ain't nothing, man. Get out of here. And they also took Champions League qualification off us in Nunes' first season as well. I dislike them, man. Ugh, bruv. I know it's weird to a lot of
You know
people,
what
but they're just
you know
strange.
what
They're
I
just a
like?
strange bunch, man. Strange bunch. And I don't like most of their footballers either. Like Joe Linton, bruv. Joe Linton gets on
Joe
my
Linton was a
nerves,
knob,
fam.
man. Every
Bruv,
time
I hate
screaming
that
off
guy.
they want a challenge.
Listen, that
Oh,
that guy gets away with GBH on the pitch, bruv. I'm telling you, that guy could commit
That's
GBH and the referees up the other way, man.
You need a player like that. I can't lie. You need one
I'm
person
not saying you
that's
don't, but he
kind.
could. But how many times does he need to assault someone before someone gets a leg broken by him? He's a thug. Stop ruining my
That's what we
beautiful
need,
game.
bro. That's what we need. We need to buy a thug this summer.
We
But,
don't.
but
I'm telling.
one of the biggest problems with the game on last Sunday was that how much we rely on Salah and Trent. Seeing as if Newcastle just how easily they nullified Salah. The other player we normally go to is Trent. Having no Trent on the pitch, having no one able to make them passes with that vision like Trent. What other options do we have? We have Robertson who looks just past it. We have Diaz who's just brain dead on the left hand side. We have our midfield which doesn't create as much as we'd like it to. So I feel like Trent's absence was a huge the Lincoln play was just missing. Like Trent and Salah, they have that telepathic understanding every time. Trent knows when Salah's gonna run down the wing, he can play him the ball. We had Kwanzaa there. We had Kwanzaa who just can't play that ball that Trent plays every game. That limited Salah's game. Newcastle had three players on Salah all the time, which just nullified his game. Diaz and Jota, don't get me started on them two. They did nothing all game. Diaz tried to be his man twice and failed, and they just gave up for the rest of the game. Gravenberch looked leggy in the midfield. Thomasai was trying his best, but there was just nothing coming off it. McAllister, same with him. Bruno Gomes just absolutely ran that midfield. He bossed McAllister, Sobozai, and Gravenberch on his own. He dictated the tempo of the midfield, took control of the game. Joel Linton, bit of a rat, but he did what he had to do. Make them fouls. I just think it was a perfect approach from Newcastle, and we just looked so passive. The substitutions were good. I'll give thought that. I think when Kays and Elliott came on, we looked a totally different team. Players that actually wanted to win the game, not like the players that were on the pitch. So yeah, I just feel like Trent and Salah, we'll get onto the contract issues in a bit, but if then two leave, yeah, it's going to be long.
I certainly feel you on
Yeah.
that.
I mean, on Danny's point about Slot, the one thing I do like about Slot, he actually makes subs. Like, unlike Klopp, bro. Klopp was a terrorist when it came to making substitutions. Like, that guy would bro.
You'd wait till the 80th minute, man. You would wait till the 75th, 80th minute. At least Slot makes it quick.
Chiesa is a guy that makes a difference. They need to play him for the rest of the season. I can't lie. Just why not? We've got nothing to lose. We've basically got the league secured. You know what I mean? We're not in the Champions League anymore. We're not in any cups. Let the guys.
I don't want to put them. I don't want to say, oh, the league is absolute. Like, you never know what happens in football. You still got you still no. You still listen.
I dare this team to bowl the league, man. I dare this team.
I know you dare this team to bottle the league, but I am not. Listen. With due respect to all the other teams in the league, yeah, they still have something to play for. If we take our foot off the gas and we lose, if we lose against Everton, right? It's Everton's cup final. They're gonna come at us at Anfield, bro. They're gonna play some proper terrorist football like they did last time. Anfield crowd hardly ever shows up for these kinds of games anyway. So Everton are going to be loud, and I thought like Everton could potentially turn us over. Who have we got next afterwards? I'm not trying to be pessimistic in any way, shape, or form. But then Fulham have been on really good form as well. So if you only take 1 point from them two games, which is very likely given the fact that we've not really played good football. In the back end of in the whole of March, we haven't really played a properly good game of football. If we continue that form, you never know. I'm just saying, I don't want to put the markers on it. It would be very.
The mindset that we're playing Man City for the title, it's Arsenal. They're going to drop points as much as we drop points.
No, of course, absolutely. But let's say if Arsenal win the next two games, then obviously we start to play Arsenal as well. Like they'll see that as an opportunity. Nothing's ever done until it's fully complete in football. That's the way I see it. Like, we all thought like collectively back in 2013-14, Salah wasn't even born. But like at that time, we all thought that the league was going to be won at that point after we beat Manchester City, and that was over a smaller game period of time. We also thought that the league was going to be wrapped up when Villa were 2-0 up and we went 2-1 up against Wolves. It never happened. I know it's over. I know that everyone can say the league is pretty much won, but I've just had too much trauma, man. I need to see the C next to the C next to Liverpool, and I'm fine.
Just to touch on the subs point made by Coffee, one player I feel like who's one slot over is Endo. If you compare how much Endo played at the start of the season compared to how much he played now, it's night and day. Start of the season, he barely got a look in. His first appearance for us was in the West Ham game in the EFL Cup. His first league appearance was against Palace in October. I feel like that's one player that's slot at the start of the season didn't see much in. He was like, okay, he's just another player I could use here and there. As the season's gone on, especially towards the last 3 months, you've seen Endo come on in the last 50-20 minutes of game when we need to close him out, and he's doing the job. So I feel like at the start of the season, Salah had a thing in his mind, okay, these are the players I rate. These are the players I don't see anything in. As the season's gone on, Endo's won him over. I think Chiesa I think he has it in him to do that, and I think he will do that. Like start of the season, first game of the season was against Ipswich, and he took Kwanzaa off for half time. That shows me that Slot is ruthless. If you don't perform, he'll take you off, and if you do perform, he'll give you a chance. Like he's gave Endo a chance. I like to see more of Chiesa and Elliot. I don't know what happens in training or why Elliot doesn't play as much as he should play, but I like to see more Elliot, more Chiesa, and just keep playing Endo.
Yeah, I
I
can
agree.
certainly
Yeah,
see that. I can
I
certainly
agree
see
with
that.
that as well because sorry Hazard, but I agree with that is because when Keita did play against Plymouth, I didn't watch the game, but a lot of people did say that he was shocking. So the way Scott probably thought that, oh, like I've given Fede his chance, and the opposition isn't even of like a high level opposition, and he hasn't been able to deliver. And then on top of that, we don't know. Like we've heard rumors that he's not fit, he's not fully fit, and then you had the Plymouth game. That's why maybe he never got his chance. But luckily for Chiesa, that the next time he did get his chance, he did pick up a goal in the final, and now his credit's gone up with the fans are calling for his name to be played because, in all honesty, a lot of us are tired with Diaz, with Jota, with Nunez. So we just want something fresh. So I agree with Slot when it comes to these type of thinkings in terms of deserve what player deserves to play and what player doesn't deserve to play.
I mean, just to touch on Chiesa, pause. Um, with Federico Chiesa, he's the kind of player that he gets on the ball and you're excited. He's someone that can bring that something extra. He's got that spark. Back in Euro 2020, back in the Euros, when every single time you got on the ball, it was like this sense of excitement that you got, or that sense of fear, as an opposition fan, because you just knew he would do something special. He's got that in him. He still has that in him. I look at the chance that he scored in the final. No one on that day was scoring that chance except for Federico Chiesa because he just has that sort of instinct for a special moment. Um, and I know you were talking about how he never played really well against Plymouth or anything, but he never had any match rhythm either. Plymouth, they may be lower league opposition, but it's in an FA Cup match against Liverpool. Of course, they're going to turn up and they're going to play the best football that they can possibly play against. So he probably got nullified like that. But you know what it is? He could quite easily be the best forward in the Premier League if he stays fit and if he can consistently deliver. Like I'm telling you that now, you don't lose that sort of ability. It's only upstairs in here that you lose it. And if he gets backed, if he stays fit, he could be a very, very valuable asset for Liverpool in the future. I really hope he stays because he's got that in him to do it. He just
Yeah,
needs it
hundred
to be
percent,
brought out of him.
100% has it because well, it was only 3 4 years ago. Like I know he's had the ACL, and the ACL does make a big difference. But I agree with you when you say it's all mental. Like Chiesa 4 5 years ago was being talked about as a 120 million pound player when he was at Juve. His first season at Juve, he was the best player in Serie A. Even now, when he left Juventus fans were sad because they knew that Chiesa still has. Okay, Chiesa hasn't been the Chiesa a couple of years ago, but he still has something there. Look, I know there's recent news, but Motta just got sacked. And who liked the post that Motta got sacked? Chiesa. So Chiesa does have a bit of talent there. I'm sure like it's all about staying fit though, because you're not gonna get your chances if you're not fit and injured. So hopefully he stays fit and he can play like a key role towards the end of the season and gain some trust within the slot. Because I have seen some rumors, people are saying a certain there's not really a certain future for Chiesa. Like it's 50-50. So again, I hope he doesn't leave in the summer because he's a good player to have in the squad at the end of the day.
I'll be real, he was bought for 12 million. I'd rather him, if he's on a 3 year contract, I'd rather him run that down and do his best to stay here at Liverpool. Like, for 12 million, you're not going to get anywhere wrong with Federico Chiesa. It's literally less than what Jordan Henderson was bought for when he was bought in 2011. And, 14 million was considered expensive back then. So I'm just saying we need to really think about, sorry, I say we. I think Slot really needs to. I don't really criticize Slot. Fingers crossed he delivers that league title for us. But I think he really needs to think about when with his forward planning, with his forwards, that the three that absolutely 100% need to stay is Gakpo, Chiesa, and Salah. And the other three of Jota, Nunes, Diaz have to leave because you look at all six of those forwards on paper. Three of them don't deliver often enough. Two of them deliver on a consistent basis. One of them, if fit, would potentially skyrocket himself into being the best forward in the Premier League with just the right backing. And on that front, I kind of want to talk about. Want to talk about. Oh, what do I want to talk about? We even wrote a brief out as well, and I've forgotten. Help me out, yeah.
Contract situation.
Contracts, no?
Yeah, let's talk about contract issues. Right, Trent, Salah, Burge. Where do we start?
Let's
Let's
go
start
with
with us.
Trent. Definitely Trent. Let's
Yeah.
let's
No,
get
no, no,
that-
no, no. Do you not want to save the best for last?
Let's
Save
get the
Trent
West.
for us.
Let's get the West out of the way, man. He's gonna leave you alone.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's go.
Who will start?
I
Salah.
don't know why, but I don't know what. There's only one. There's probably like a couple of reasons I can think of him actually wanting to leave. But I always look back to that Real Madrid game, where we won 2-0, and Jude Bellingham got booed like crazy. He got booed like crazy. He didn't even sign for Liverpool. It was just rumors that he was going to sign for Liverpool, and the Anfield crowd were booing him like it was no tomorrow. Imagine if Trent comes back to Anfield, he's going to get absolutely torn apart. Also, you look at the way that the media over at Real Madrid treat certain players. When it comes to performances, if they're if they're below the standard, they get absolutely ripped to pieces. What Trent gets here now, it's nothing. It'll be absolutely nothing in comparison to what he gets over at Real Madrid. I don't know if he's the kind of egotistical player that kind of likes the challenge. Maybe that's the sort of thing that he thrives on. But I don't really see too much rhyme or reason as to why he'd want to go.
You see what it is, Hazza, yeah? In this situation, there's only one back I can see of Trent, and that is, at this moment in time, it's kind of unfair to judge him and judge whatever decision he makes, because
Yeah,
we don't really. Let me finish. Because we don't know the exact logistics behind this decision. It could be money, and don't forget. Please tell me a scenario where you have one of your most generational players have 6 months left on his contract. Not 6 months left on his contract. Now he only has 3-4 months left. You've never seen it. A player feels disrespected when that happens. He goes, "I'm giving everything for this football club. This is my boyhood club. And if let me get to this stage where I have 2 months left on my contract and I can go for free." And the thing is, if Trent was giving you bad performances, then there's an argument that his head's not here. He had 1 or 2 bad weeks, and after that, he's been near and near perfect. We missed him against Newcastle, he was great. Trent will be Trent. If we miss Trent, there's not a single right back in this world that can replace Trent Alexander-Arnold. The way I see it is that there's only 2 reasons that he'll sign for Madrid. Number 1, Jude, and number 2, it's a reason that.
When did they become best friends? Since when did they become best friends? Can someone explain to me? When did they become best friends?
I have no clue, honestly. You know how they became best friends? You know how they became best friends? And this is all because of us. Because when we wanted Jude, we liked it when Trent was with Jude. All along, Jude was getting Trent to play for Madrid. So it came back at us. But the second point is that I don't know about me. I don't know about you lot, but me, especially as a kid, I don't know there's lots of kids out there. But when you look at Real Madrid, you just want to play in that white kit. You just want to play at the Bernabeu. You want to be part of the Galacticos. Real Madrid is
More of a
probably the
Barca boy
only club
person.
that Madrid is probably the only club that will give you the PR to win the Ballon d'Or. So in terms of that, I can understand it. But then again, that contradicts everything because Trent is a boyhood Liverpool player. He's been at the academy. He said it himself that like Liverpool is his life. Like he loves Liverpool. Like again, it's like I said, we won't know the full decision of why he's done it until certain briefs and logistics come out. So that's my take on it personally.
I mean, you
But
talk about logistics and stuff. You don't no club let's look at it realistically. No club in their right mind purposefully runs down a contract and devalues their player, right? Everyone knows, and I'm not even putting the blame at FSG or Michael Edwards or anyone here. No club in their right mind they look at the contract list and they think probably, okay, Trent, he's got 2 years left. We need to extend this contract, otherwise, if it gets to a year, we're going to be in trouble. But imagine they look at it after a year. They must have tried to at least get some sort of agreement going between the two of them. And we all know about Trent Alexander-Arnold's brother as an agent. He's an absolute a-hole. Like when it comes to these sort of contract negotiations, and I'm not even trying to slander him or anything, but there have been stories that have been told about him in terms of him getting tickets and selling them for a lot of a higher price. Um, he makes his statements for his brother, um, all this sort of stuff. And again, it's not trying to slander. These are things I've heard, and not this. They have a lot of truth to it. With no club in their right mind actually looks at that and says, "Yeah, you know what? We're going to let him go for free." Absolutely no way. There's got to be something in it, as you say. There's got to be some sort of logistics in that, but certainly no blame needs to be passed over to the club because Trent wants something. He's got some sort of bargaining chip that he's trying to use to either get a bumper contract here at Liverpool, which I don't think he's going to get anymore. He's gone to Real Madrid, or there's something else in the pipeline, and I don't know what that is. Um, as you say, things will come to light, but man,
Yeah.
I don't think I can
I don't
forgive
know.
Trent, to be honest. I can't forgive Trent if he goes to
Yeah,
Madrid.
but
I understand it's
just
his
quickly
career and
though,
stuff, but nah, man, come on.
just quickly before we ask
Pat,
Danny and Carl, in a scenario, sorry, Carl, just quickly, in a scenario where you can blame FSG, well, I want to ask you, does FSG take the blame? Is that Trent wants to be on what Salah is on, and don't what Salah is on, but maybe 100 grand below. I don't know how much exactly Trent is on. I think he's around 150, 200. So he wants that increase of 350. Do you go and blame the ownership and say that they should have paid up for Trent, or do you describe him as a money grabbing little rat? How do you see it?
The way I see it is, if you're a bit, This is gonna sound like a real proper politician's answer. The way I see it is, there's at Liverpool, there's a proper wage structure. There's a wage structure that essentially works for player priorities, like the absolute best. The best of the best get paid. Trent should be on that. Trent should be in that bracket. However, you can't pay someone 350,000 at the age of 26. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, when his contract runs out when he's 28, 29, all of a sudden he's asking for 450,000. It
But
doesn't.
don't you think he deserves it?
That's not sustainable though. But how can you guarantee that he deserves it when it comes to that age though? That's why you pay incrementally. You go up incrementally. You earn.
But then,
Let's say you're working at your job. Yeah, You're doing really well at your job, but and you want a pay rise. But you've seen some. But you're also you're at university and stuff, and you've got a career. Let's say you want a pay rise, but the company want to give you a pay rise when you've got your head somewhere else. Like that's always going to happen.
that's fair, but like,
You can justify. I get it. You can justify paying Trent 350,000. That number's not going to stay the same for the next 2 years, though. That's going to increase, and it's going to
yeah, I
increase.
agree with
It
that.
ruins the business
Yeah.
model.
And then that's why it comes to that point. Why do you think he still hasn't signed yet? Because he knows he'll get more in Madrid, and even when he does look for an increase, Madrid will happily give it to him if he fits the Galactico status. So yeah, you do make a good point there.
No, but you also like you make a valid point in the sense of if the player is as good as Trent is, which I agree he is, he should get paid that much. I just I think a lot of people try and see it as black and white when there's a lot of grey, especially when it comes to business, employer wages, etc. Football, at the end of the day, it's about if this player is asking for this much value, are they really going to bring that much value, or can I go somewhere else, just save a bit of money, and then I can go, improve the team elsewhere. Personally, I think Liverpool shouldn't pay him as much as what he's asking for, but they should certainly get a pay increase because he's starting to hit his prime years now, and he does deserve to get treated um as that top player, but not as much as what he's asking. If he's asking for 350, 400, that's just astronomical.
you
With
know what?
Trent, yeah. Okay,
Let
go
Danny, let
ahead.
Danny, let Danny go first. Nah, Danny, you go first.
I was just gonna say, with Trent, he's a top three player right now for Liverpool. He's a generational player. Whether we get rid of him or don't, we can't replace him. Yeah, we're not gonna find a right back who does what Trent does on on a daily basis. There's just no one out there. There's no right back that can play the passes like he can play, who has that vision. Just we won't replace Trent here, as simple as. But I feel like with FSG, under FSG ownership, we've always took a measured approach to contracts. The club don't like rushing or being held by player demands, even with the club legends. Their mentality is we make an offer, but we won't overpay or panic. Yeah, but with Trent, he's just not any player there. He's a legend. His generation and he's homegrown. So waiting this long, I think he's playing with fire from both sides. Trent's gonna feel like he's getting more leverage over the club, especially because he's not the only one that's contracts running down. We've got two other star players who could arguably say are more important than Trent is. So Trent's going to have a lot of leverage here. I do think all three contracts are connected, especially Salah's and Van Dijk's with Trent as well. I think how much them two get paid, Salah and Van Dijk, is always going to have an impact how much Trent gets paid. Trent's going to feel like he's a top three player at the club. I think we could all agree he's a top five player at the very least, yeah. So I think he's going to want as much money as them. But we all know with FSG, we've been here a million times with lots of different transfer situations, contract situations even. They won't overpay unless they need to. So I feel like with Trent, it's a case of the club believe he'll eventually sign. He'll resign because he's a scouser. He loves the club. He's even the vice captain. Like he's a higher augury at the club than Salah is. So I think Trent just holds more leverage, but I think the club are really playing with fire here. Like they've let it run down this much. I've got something to touch on Klopp later. I just don't think he's done the right things, letting all three contracts run down this late. So I feel like if Klopp's not Klopp, if Trent's camp has delayed negotiations or just refused to commit, then some responsibility does lie with them. Like we were talking about his camp, his brother, he's one rat. So yeah, I feel like they may be advising him to keep his options open. In the post-Klopp era, there are some uncertainties, especially as I'm going to touch on about Van Dijk, is that the club's ambition. Are they willing to spend the money? Are they willing to revamp the squad? Are they willing to get the right players in the right positions? Or are we just going to be held stagnant? Are we just not going to, keep
Mm.
going for the league titles, keep going for the Champions League that we have been doing? So, yeah, I do think it's a mixture of poor timing, club transition, and like Trent's own hesitation. The club should have been more proactive, but like Trent is also likely waiting to see where the club's head is, their
Mm.
ambitions. So yeah, if we do lose him for free, I think it'll be a colossal failure. No one can say anything otherwise. We're just not gonna get another right back as good as him. But yeah, I think I don't think it's as like Hazard said. I don't think it's as black and white as people say. There's a lot going behind the scene. But yeah, I'll be gutted if he leaves, man.
Yeah, absolutely same. Carpe, you wanted to say something from when Salah was speaking, so get it off your chest, man.
Right, I'm gonna speak now about Trent. This is my problem, yeah, with modern day football fans. Why are we so nice and so scared to call a player a rat or a snake when they're moving like one? And this guy is moving like one. How can you be a boyhood scouser, yeah, Liverpool fan? It would be your dream to play for Liverpool Football Club. Not only that, this guy's probably going to be our future captain. Well, he's not going to anymore, but if he stayed, he would be future captain. End of, yeah. How can you like look at that and want to trade that for Real Madrid in 2025? They don't have the same aura as they once did. I'm sorry, stick your Mbappe's and your Vini Juniors, yeah. They are not the same team that they once were. We're in an age now, yeah, where there's so many superpowers in football, and Liverpool are one of them. Whether we like, we don't move like one, but we are in terms of performances. Champions League we compete, Premier League we compete, domestic cups we compete. Why the hell would you want to leave the club? And I'm not even gonna blame. I know FSG are inept here, but I'm sorry, they're not that stupid in it to let a guy like Trent's contract run down. They have to have offered him money. Have to have. He just doesn't want to stay, and he's moving like a right snake. Should have told us last time that you want to leave, so we could have got some money for you. You're just letting your contract down. That is disgusting. I'm sorry. And look at Steven Gerrard. Let's take it back to Stevie G. Yeah, back in the days, he was linked with a move to Chelsea. Yeah, and he was considering it. Our fans were burning his shirt, bro. So you had scouts gangs, bro, sending him threats, everything, yeah, the lot. this is our greatest ever football player, Steven George Gerrard. Stick your Salah, stick your Trents, whatever. No one's better than Gerrard, boy. And so if a guy like Gerrard can suffer all this abuse, blah blah blah, and he still came through it, all right. Why isn't the same energy being directed towards Trent? Like, I'm not going that far. I'm not saying threatening his family and stuff, but boo the guy. You need to boo the guy. Why are we not booing the guy, bro? Why are we playing him? I don't care how good he is. I'm sorry, I don't care how you don't know stuff you do. You're gonna leave in the summer pool. Hold the bench, bro. Don't play. You're not playing. We're just too nice. Football is just too nice now.
You know what it is, Carl? I think you make
We
a good
pay
point
these
there.
guys. We
You
pay these
make a
guys
good
how much
point.
money? How much money do these guys earn? How much money do these guys earn, bro? Not allowed to boo them
Because
anymore. Not allowed to boo
I
them
don't
anymore.
know. I don't know if it was just me. But I genuinely forgot the Madrid bidded for Trent in Jan. Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know why that just slipped out of my mind, but they bidded 15 million for him in Jan. And then in the most logical thinking is that surely Trent's agents told Madrid to bid. Because why would they bid without even asking Trent? So at that stage, then it does come out that you are a snake. That's when it does get to that point. So like, Carl genuinely made me remember about that because I genuinely forgot that Madrid bidded for him. So yeah,
And he's a coward. I'm sorry. Stop being a coward. If you're gonna leave us for free in the summer, why not in January or whatever say, listen, guys, I do want to move to Madrid, but whilst I'm here, I'm gonna give it my all for the club that I grew up playing for. Blah blah blah. At least you can have a bit of respect. We can get behind him. You're leaving the fans in confusion and just dragging it out. I'm sorry. I have no respect for that, bro.
you see what it is. He's gonna release a video, yeah, 3-4 games before the end of the season, and
But
it's gonna be titled "Thank you at Liverpool Football Club." Done. That's what he's gonna tell us.
that's
That's what he's gonna
performative
tell
though.
us.
That's performative though. That's performative. I don't give a fuck about that.
Yes,
Just do
and
that. He's a snake, bro.
Van Dijk and Salah have come out clearly saying they want to stay at the club. They love the club. I just don't see that energy from Trent, and you're just giving me the kind of idea that this guy doesn't really. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying it as a fan's perspective, but it just seems like come give the fans some kind of hope that okay, you might resign at the end of the
Respect.
season.
Respect is all we ask for. Not
Exactly.
hope.
With
Respect.
With Van Dijk and Salah, we can see it. They love the club. They want to resign. But with Trent, I don't know. I just don't see it with him.
And I also just add, yeah, what is the appeal of going to Madrid? I'm sorry, what is the appeal of going to
I mean,
Madrid?
there's so
They're
much
Madrid
appeal,
at the end
can't
of the
there?
day. They're
Oh,
Bro,
Madrid at
there's.
the
look at
end of the
no,
day.
but if you're talking money, yeah, bro, how many sponsorships do these flipping
I
footballers
mean,
get?
Saudi
Is it
as well.
telling
To be fair, we could look at Saudi.
is that
And,
do you know what I mean? How much money you're making already in this day and age, yeah? It's just pure greed. And not only that, what are you trying to do? You're gonna go to Madrid, hang out with Jude Bellingham, what? You're hoping to get a flipping skins contract from Kim Kardashian, hoping that he puts in a word for you, bro. Like, bro, what are we doing here, man? And not only that, you're treated like a king by the local fans, yeah? They love you, you're homegrown talent, yeah? They're gonna look after you no matter how shit does Trent play sometimes we back
we
him.
defend him. We
How many
defend him
times
like we
Yeah,
defend him like he's
exactly.
our brother, bruv.
Bro, you think you're gonna get that at Madrid, bro? They're gonna be racially abusing you a lot, mate. So be careful what you wish for, innit? All I'm gonna say is the grass isn't green on the other side. The grass is green where you water it.
yeah. I mean, it's
That's a cold way
just
to
a
end
quick
that.
point. Just a quick point before we end. It's what I don't know if you guys have seen. It's what Steve McManaman said that he regrets going to Madrid, and he hopes that Trent doesn't do the same because McManaman was kind of in a similar
Michael Owen,
situation.
bro.
A lot of players
No,
do.
no, it happened to Steve McManaman as well, and Michael Owen, I think. So
I can't
again,
lie though.
Trent does have good
McManaman
good
did his
cred.
thing.
Yeah,
McManaman
McManaman
actually done
did
a
do
good
his
job at
thing.
Madrid.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I don't
McManaman's loved
know.
over at Madrid. I think from what I know, because
Mm,
like he played a really big role in the Champions League. He's an
He's
annoying commentator,
underrated.
but he's underrated. Yeah,
Underrated player.
certainly.
yeah,
There's so many players that have left Liverpool and they've regretted it like all the time. I think you look at all the guys that have left Liverpool. There's like maybe one or two players in the last 20 years that have left Liverpool and done bigger, better things. That's Luis Suarez and Raheem Sterling. Those are the only two players that you can probably say, you know what, yeah, I can respect you leaving. Like Torres when he left, that broke my heart. That was my first heartbreak, man. That was my first heartbreak. That's not to say I've had so many heartbreaks after. Sorry, mum, if you're watching this. But um, but like, yeah, he won the Premier League and the Champions League, whatever. but he never did it whilst he was, he was fully appreciated. He was hated at his time at Chelsea. Coutinho left for 140. We said thank you for Van Dijk and Allison, and he could have been part of something special. But he won the Champions League. Don't get me wrong with Bayern Munich. But he was never loved like he was here at Liverpool. And there's so many players of yesteryear, like Trent is very likely to fall in that same bracket, and he's seen the likes of Gerrard who have stayed. Yeah, he may not have won a Premier League, he may not have won as many trophies as he did, but the trophies that he did win with us, they matter more than what he could have won elsewhere. It's nice to have personal accolades, but to be a legend of your own city is really, that's the big thing, and that's what us Liverpool fans feel here. But anyway, let's move on to the next contract. I want to talk about Mohamed Salah. What do we think, guys?
We'll start Salah.
You know what it is? You know what it is? Like,
Harry start.
I was hoping you lot would start. He's just irreplaceable, right? He's just irreplaceable. We've just about replaced Steven Gerrard after God knows how long, and that took us three midfielders to replace him. That took McAllister, Gravenberch, and Szoboszlai to replace Gerrard, who them three put
I wouldn't
together
go
aren't
that
as good as
far.
Steven Gerrard. No. All three of them aren't as good put together. Aren't as good as Stevie G. I love McAllister as much as an expert person. But it's taken three guys to replace one midfielder. Um, you know, we're never going to be able to find another Mohamed Salah for the next 20, 30 years, right? I was singing Chiesa's praises earlier on, but he's not that consistently available. We're not going to find a forward that's going to be consistently available as Mo Salah is. He's hardly been injured in the past 8 years that he's been here. He's always gotten 20 plus goals and assists in all competitions every single year. And he's ever since Mane and Firmino have left, he's played with bozos that have almost deflated their stats, his own personal stats, and his own overall impact on the game. Um, and he's and oh, we need to we need this is the kind of player, right, that FSG must look and just think, you know what, we just pay him. We need to pay him because the value that you get out of Mo Salah, the value that you get paying Mo Salah, even if you spend £70 million in the next 2 years for Mohamed Salah, you ain't finding anyone at 70 million who's going to be able to replace the type of numbers that Mo Salah gives you. I don't know. I know it's a bit hypocritical from what I said earlier on. I just think that's what you have to do. It's simply a must.
Listen, letting Salah go would be the dumbest thing Liverpool could ever do. Here, we're not talking about a normal transfer decision. We're talking about potentially ejecting the greatest forward the league's ever seen just because he's getting old. He's 33. Come on, that's not really old, is it? He could easily give us 2, 3 more seasons at his elite level. Like, this season proved he's not in a decline. He's not slowing down. He's not past it. He's still bagging 20 plus goals, getting you 10 plus assists every season. Like, come on, this is a transitioning team. And he's still putting up the numbers he was putting up the first season he came here. Most goals in a Premier League season for Liverpool, most goals in Europe for Liverpool, multiple golden boots, multiple finals, countless big game moments. If FSG let him go, they're not letting any ordinary player go. It's throwing away an icon status. You get global commercial pull with Salah, and the our fan base loves him. They absolutely adore Salah. In this day and age, who can really score 25 plus goals and put up 15 plus assists while playing every 3 days? No one. They can't. I think the fact of the matter is, it's going to cost us more to replace Salah
Exactly.
than to keep him. That's the main
Exactly.
point of FSG. I don't know why they can't see that. If you're going to have to spend another 100 million to find someone, no, not even near Salah, someone who could put half his numbers, there's just no one on the market for that. They're all good wingers. I'm not debating that, but none of the wingers are going to come to Liverpool. You have Yamal who's not going to come to Liverpool. Saka, Rafinha. I mean, they are the best probably wingers in the world right now. I don't see them coming to Liverpool. So yeah, I feel like there's just no one who can match his output. Like, find me one winger right now in world football who scores 20 plus goals consistently, stays fit for 90% of the season. This guy barely, I think this is one of the biggest advantages we have with Salah. He never gets injured. He's always available for us. He performs in big games. Like, if there's one big player, it's Salah. His record against the top six is unbelievable. I don't think anyone can match that. So if we are going to try and replace Salah, you're going to have to try to replace a goal scoring winger, a goal scoring wide player. I just don't see it happening. So I think it's stupid that the club have let this go down, you know, this late. And the fact of the matter is, I just I'll be gobsmacked if we let him go. Like that would hurt me. It would actually hurt me if we let Salah go.
You know what? I think you're right, Danny. We're never ever going to be able to replace Salah, and it's criminal to let him go. Like the money it would cost to keep him. I get it with age, it goes against the FSG model and all that. But the money you'd spend to keep him at the club for another 2 years or so, you're going to make that back through kit
Exactly as I
sales,
said.
through every.
Exactly as I said.
Just do it, man. What are you guys doing? But FSC, I think that's another topic we're going to get to in this video. We have strong feelings towards them, but let's even if we do like lose Salah, the goal won't be to try and find a player like Salah. That's impossible. That's never going to happen. We lost Steven Gerrard. We didn't replace him with a player exactly like Gerrard. You know, we tried out guys like Wijnaldum, Henderson, Szoboszlai, McAllister, blah blah blah. They're all different types of players. They're not a Gerrard mold kind of player, right? Same with Fernando Torres, yeah. And he left. We replaced him with Suarez, right? Suarez and Torres are two completely different styles of strikers. And the goal isn't to find a player exactly like that. You just have to find a different type of player. Do you know what I mean? Same way, who did you say? Suarez left, yeah. We brought in a Firmino. That was his replacement.
Yeah, but he took,
basically,
yeah, but Carpe. If you look at the time, with respect, Carpe. If you look at the time period between Suarez and Firmino, that's a very long. That was like what, 2 seasons, and Firmino only started to come good when he had more competent players around him, and he was misused by Brendan Rodgers.
Shout out Rodgers, bro. He signed Ricky Lambert.
Agreed.
Mario Balotelli. We'll do a
Agreed.
Liverpool nines.
But I low key,
Iago
can I
Aspas.
just say something? Balotelli, yeah. It's one of them ones, innit? Either it works or it doesn't. Like it was a gamble that it was worth taking.
Bruv, I love that gamble, man. I love that gamble. It's Ramadan Haroon. What are you saying? Nah, I love Balotelli, man. I'm telling you. I don't care. I'm so glad I can proudly say that he played for Liverpool Football Club. Hopefully he comes up to one of the charity games one of these days and like RKO's Jurgen Klopp or some shit, man. That'd be so jokes. But yeah, look, it goes back to the point of you say that you can find someone who's different to him, but the thing is Salah does everything. Like if you took out his goals, he's still creating. If you took out his creating, he still scores goals. And even so, people can have this sort of like casual opinion of him not impacting the game in the way of a Hazard. Okay, he still gets involved. He still gets the ball. He receives it. He tries to make things happen. But when you've got idiots like Diaz and Jota upstairs has gone completely, and then you've got Nunes as well. If you haven't got those kind of functioning players around you, it makes you look a lot worse. But I think if you look, but if you say right, we need to replace Salah. There's no one that can create as good as him. There's no one that can score as well as him or as frequently as him. So what kind of right winger do you then go for? Do you go for someone who's in a similar mold to Jack Grealish who can run at a defender? Or do you go with would you go with someone like Jared Bowen who you think, okay, you're playing at a lesser club. What if we actually try to, upgrade you and then see if you could produce a similar, not a similar output, but maybe 15 Premier League goals in a season? Because he could potentially do that, but you lose a lot elsewhere.
With
It's
Salah,
difficult. It's so hard. It's just easy just to say pay
Yeah,
him. You should pay him.
if we do sell Salah and say we get how much, I mean he's gonna go free if we do sell him, but in 2 years, say if we do sell him for 100 million, he'll still go up Saudi and get a good paycheck there. Maybe sign a raw winger right now who can, in them 2 years, potentially develop into a starter for Liverpool. In that time frame, you give the player not that much pressure to come in immediately and deliver after Salah. You give him 2 years to settle in, know the squad, know the Premier League, Champions League, while Salah still does his thing. In 2 more years, you can let Salah go to Saudi. He'd be what, 35, 36 by then. I think he'd call your career at Liverpool by then, and we'd have our raw winger there. I just don't see if we sell Salah right now, a player to come in and have that much of a burden on his shoulders to give us. Salah's got 56 goal assists this season. Do you know how crazy that is? 56 on his own.
Sorry, I was laughing. It's just Salah dropped his camera, but that's
You know
also
Salah, with Salah, yeah, it's not like this guy is money driven. Do you know what I mean? He could easily like cash it in right now, yeah, and go Saudi, yeah. He doesn't
Well, that
want to. He
money.
wants, bro.
Yeah,
He wants to play for us. He's the ultimate professional. He wants to win trophies. He wants to like be up there in the Ballon d'Or conversations.
do you
So like, it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. Pay the guy.
no,
He
no,
wants to stay at the club.
Carpe, but you reckon Salah might not want to stay? Well, no, sorry, he wants to stay, but do you feel like there's a reluctance to sign the contract from what he's given because there's no guarantee that Liverpool want to upgrade? Does that become an issue then? Like,
yeah.
it's all well and good staying. Like, if I'm Salah, I'm thinking, okay, I'm happy to stay, but I'm only wanting to stay if we're going to continuously be successful. We've won a Premier League title this year, yes, but if we're going to go into a transitional period, how are you going to invest in the squad? Because if you're not going to invest in the squad, what's the point in me staying here? I'd rather go get a paycheck somewhere else, which is completely fair.
No, I hear that. But Salah, this is a guy that wants to still win awards, yeah, and be in conversations like world best player in the world, all that, yeah. You're not going to do that by going to Saudi. Do you know
No,
what
no,
I
of
mean?
course not, of course not. But you need to. But at the same time, if he's going to be one of the best players, if he's going to cement himself as one of the greatest players of all time, he can't do it on his own. Football's a team game. If the club isn't willing to invest in the players or invest in the contracts that he needs, then you'd rather just call it a day. If Salah were to leave for the Saudi league right now, he's already considered as the greatest forward in. I think personally he's the greatest forward in Premier League history. Him and Henry, it's a straight shootout between the two of them. But if he stayed for the next 2 years, let's say, and Liverpool won another league title, 3 league titles, and they potentially, you know, and he still performed and he still gave out those similar performances, potentially reached 200 Premier League goals, then it becomes undisputed that he's the greatest Premier League player of all time. Like, but Liverpool need to put that investment into the squad. Um, and that's probably that's what's bothering Salah more than the money aspect, I feel personally. That's what would bother me anyway if I'm a career driven professional that wants to win trophies and stuff. I don't know how you
Salah,
see it, Danny.
Salah is a prime example of someone who's driven. He wants to win all the trophies. He wants all the individual awards. He wants everything. He is your like he's just obsessed with winning. The thing I see is that if they do let him go, where does he really go? You've got Barcelona who have the rowing already. You've got PSG who have the rowing already. Madrid, he's not going to go there. Bayern Munich, I just don't see him going there. All the top club you've got Juve, I just don't see him going there, and you got the Premier League teams. He's not going to play in the Premier League again. So the only other option is Saudi, which I just don't see him taking the move to Saudi. So I just feel like it's just going to be so stupid if we do let him go. This guy wants to win with those. If he does go, it's 100% on FSG. I don't think there's no one else we're going to blame to letting Salah go as long as it's going to be all FSG's fault. And I feel like with FSG, in their brain, they have the thought of, okay, Salah is what, 33 now. In 2 years, he's going to be 35. There's no guarantee he's going to keep this up. It's not worth the risk. It's not worth giving him how much he wants. But as us fans, we know he's been keeping at an elite level for what the last 7-8 years. He's been consistently getting 30 goal assists. This year, he's got his highest ever goal and assists. And so yeah, it's just draining as a fan, seeing one of the best players ever playing for this club
For
potentially
sure.
leaving kind of free.
Absolutely. And the guy looks after himself really well as well. He take it's as if I don't want to say the phrase age is just a number and that'll get horribly taken out of context, but if you look at the way that he looks after himself, he's a specimen. He just keeps himself incredibly fit. And you don't really, and there's not much value in that. And people don't seem to value that these days, that availability as well. Because imagine, let's say you bring in a Kudus or Bowen, they get injured, then all of a sudden you're starting to scrounge and scrap for other players in and around the youth academy system, and there's pressure on them to deliver, and it puts pressure on the rest of the team. This one's on FSG for me if they don't sign Salah on, and I 100% agree with Danny there. I know it's a bit hypocritical from what I said about Trent, but Nah, Salah's just going to be the hardest to replace.
Yeah, and if I just add a quick point on it, like I think you're totally correct to say that. Yeah, it's a bit hypocritical of you, but no, you're not really, because not re-signing the best right winger or the best winger that the Premier League has ever produced is absolutely criminal. That is a criminal offense. I'm sorry. Like since 1780,
It's a
Mohamed
war
Salah's
crime,
put
man.
up numbers. It's a war crime. Since 1780s, Mohamed Salah has put up number after number. 30 goals. His lowest goals in assist season is 20. The average player doesn't even reach 12. And Mohamed Salah's lowest one is 20 across 8 years. And
Mental.
you're telling me this is a player you're just going to let go on a free and you're acting like you're easily going to replace him? You see me, I respect Michael Edwards a lot for what he did. You have to remember he's the one who brought in Salah. But if Edwards is thinking the way that, okay, Salah is at this age now, we need to replace him, and my data analysis has made a Johan Bakayoko on my radar, just get out of my club. There's no place for data analytics. Yeah? Mohamed Salah, you can see, is performing week in, week out. What more do you want from the man? He's led your team to a Premier League title. He's given you record profits. Do you know how much FSG are going to get from winning this Premier League title? And last season, we just got third. And Salah's just skyrocketed them to the league title. I saw a stat the other day. You know how many points Salah has won us? I want you guys to actually guess. How many points do you think Mohamed Salah has won us this season?
I'm going to say 60.
That's a bit too much.
I think
I'm 50.
He's very good. No, come on, guys. That's a bit
40,
too much.
40.
Yeah, I think he's won us around 35 points. But still, the point is that a single player winning you that amount of points, at that point you're just getting carried. And he should be getting 3-4 Premier League. He should be getting Diaz's Premier League medal. He should be getting Nunez's Premier League medal. He should be getting Jota's Premier League medal, because they don't deserve a Premier League medal. Because who has got that Premier League medal on their neck? Who gave it to them? Mohamed Salah. Without Mohamed Salah, they don't have a single Premier League medal on their neck. And that's what I'm going to put it at. Simple.
that is proper prime
That's what I'm going to say.
Arabic, what you call it, commentary. Take the medals off this guy, take the medals off him, put it on Mohamed Salah.
Guys, have we ever seen a player of this quality lead a top Premier League side to a league title on his own? Have we ever seen it? I don't think we have.
No.
It would have been Suarez in 2013-14.
Yeah.
No, but the thing is, Suarez had Sturridge. Suarez had Coutinho. Suarez had Sterling. And he had Sterling. He had other people chip in with the goals and help him when he wasn't maybe at the stage. And even if Suarez scored a hat-trick, he had Sturridge score here, he had Sterling score here. Salah has no one. Salah only has Gakpo. That's the thing. I've never seen it. Even when Ronaldo had supposedly the best individual performance in the Prem in 07-08. I mean, I was very young to know, but United did have a very good team.
Then, bro.
So I was only one. United had very good players around Ronaldo. It's not to say that Liverpool don't have very good players around it like Salah, like we have an okay defense, but there's still glaring holes in this team. United didn't have any holes in that team. So I think that's just where I rest my case. He's once in a lifetime player. You don't get these players every 4 years or something. It's generally once in a blue.
Can I just touch on Luis Diaz? Can I just touch on Luis Diaz?
I wanted to really talk about Van Dijk, but
just 2 minutes.
Can't conscious of time. Go on.
Luis Diaz, yeah, this guy is the most brain-dead footballer I've seen in my life. He should have been gone after that Carabao Cup final. This guy, okay, he's electric, he's got flair, but what's the point? His end product is just, oh my days. He can be a man, he's tricky and exciting, but how many times does this guy get the ball, be his man, and then just shoot wide or misplace the final pass?
He doesn't beat his man anymore.
Thank you for that. In big games, especially finals like the one against Newcastle, you need players who turn up in moments. Look, Salah wasn't performing, you needed a Diaz to turn up. What did this guy do? Nothing. And I don't think this guy fits Slot's system. I think Slot wants a structural wide player who can, sharp link-ups, inside runs, and is more tactically disciplined. I think Diaz, similar to Nunez, is more of a chaos merchant. He's great for a counter-attacking system like Klopp's. I mean, he wasn't great for that, was he really? But I mean, I think Klopp got the best anyone could get out of a player like Diaz. He often holds on the ball for too long, which disrupts play. I've seen one of the passes he made against PSG. It was just he got the ball on the right hand side. He looked up and switched it, and there was no one there. So yeah, I think with Luis Diaz, he has gave us a few good games here and there, but I genuinely can't count that on one hand, barely on one hand. This guy on the left hand side has just gave me heartache every time he touches the ball. He looks up, tries to find the pass, can't find the pass, looks back, and then ends up losing the ball. Always finds the wrong pass, the delayed shot, runs into traffic. We've seen this so much times. I mean, at this level, you can't have that much hesitation or especially selfishness. It just kills you. Football is not about having flair and looking good. It's about your IQ. It's about what you can do in the final third. A player like Salah makes the most of it. He's not the best dribbler, but he makes his dribbling look effective. He always finds the right pass, always finds the right shot. His IQ's on a different hemisphere to Jota's, Nunez's, and Diaz's.
Yeah, and quickly, I know we want to move on, just quickly. The day I realized this Colombian fraud was a crook was when we went to Paris, and he only dribbled past a mid-Carvajal that season once. He played good the whole season, and when it came to the most important game, he couldn't hack it. I knew since that day he's not good enough to play for Liverpool Football Club because he never turned up in the big game. And number two, I just want to say a big shout out to Mr. Kazi Khan. That it took you 4 months to turn against Diaz when we've been seeing it for 2 years. So yeah,
You know what? After this, I'm gonna clip that and I'm gonna send it to you. You can send it to him. We're doing that
Bro,
right
we
now.
need-
Extra exclusive.
We need Ghazi. We need Ghazi on this podcast, bro. Get
Ghazi, bro,
on
we're
it.
inviting you, man. We're inviting you, Kazi.
Bro, you've got a platform to speak, my friend. You're always sending them voice notes into chat, fam, and you don't even want to come out and speak your truth, man. You look at Danny here; he's behind the camera. Closed camera. You can do the same, my brother, with your ponytail hair as well, bro. But nah, seriously, moving on to another
Roman
ponytail
Reigns.
favorite.
The Roman Reigns.
Moving on to another ponytail favorite of mine, big Virgil van Dijk. Now, this is something. This is one where I can't really wrap my head around when it comes to the business model or the business model generally speaking. Like I look at Virgil van Dijk and I just think he's a GOAT defender, right? Why do you not want the best defender in the world or potentially one of the best defenders of all time to stay? What the hell is your problem? He's consistently available. The only injury he ever had was the one that when Jordan Pickford assaulted him and never even got a red card for him. He never got a penalty for. That's beside the facts. Like he's 33. Defenders have a longer lifespan at the top level. Defenders like Van Dijk, in the sense of their centre backs, they have a longer lifespan comparatively to forwards. What are we doing here? What is the end game with Van Dijk? Honestly, Van Dijk could go to Real Madrid, he could go to PSG, but he wants to stay at Liverpool. And why are we not doing that for him? What is going on?
Can
Okay.
start? I'm gonna be real, yeah. With Van Dijk, yeah. Out of the three, I think it's not that deep. We lose him.
Whoa. No.
Let him land. Let him land. We had to listen to you about Kazi, bro.
I know he's a legend and all that, but let's be real, he's on the decline, innit? And why not? We should cash in. Well,
not really
cash in. It's gonna be a free, but I don't know, man. I think for me, if I'm FSG, yeah, and I have to prioritize out of the three, it's Salah. Well, we know Trent's told us to fuck off, basically. He doesn't want to sign. Van Dijk wants to sign and Salah wants to sign. And if it's a choice here, we have to pick between the two, I'm going Salah, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like,
go on.
Yes, no, you go.
I was gonna say, you don't say that about club captain, yeah?
Oh, you can say that, but can I just say something? Why was our club captain talking to the owners of PSG at Anfield?
That's not that deep.
But then players talk to different teams as coach every time. And from what
owners is a
people were in
different.
that dressing room,
Owners is a difference. It is slightly different. I do get him. I do understand his kind of like.
he deserves.
I don't think it's deep, but I do understand why
He deserves to talk to any club in the world. Yeah? Why? Because he's in the position that he's on 3 months left, okay?
Yeah, and
The
you
way
know
I
what?
see it, the way I see it with Van Dijk, very quickly. The way I see it with Van Dijk, he hasn't declined a single bit since he joined this club, not at all. And even when people say he's declined, it's all these Twitter little mutants who are clipping things of Van Dijk and this that. But I guarantee you, Vidic had that same treatment. Vidic wasn't being considered as a great defender right now. Okay. Number two, he came back from an ACL injury. Barely anyone gets to their top after that. And he came back season after we went for a league. Yeah, because he got injured in 21-22. Then 22-23, we'll basically going for the quad. And that was the season straight after his ACL. Yeah. And now he's club captain. And as club captain, he's led us to a Carabao Cup. He's about to lead us to a league title. It is out of all them three, I think Van Dijk and Salah are only not signing because they want to see what happens with the project. I don't think they don't want money. And yeah, they do want money. Of course, everyone wants the English, but they want to wait for the project. But Van Dijk shouldn't be disrespected that are like it's easy to replace.
I'm not disrespecting him. I'm not saying he's easy to replace. I'm just saying, yeah, because we know with FSG we can't. They're never going to give us everything we want. They're going to give us bits and then say, oh yeah, be happy with that. So if I have to choose between Salah and Van Dijk, I'm taking Salah, but I'd rather Salah stay.
I agree because Salah is irreplaceable. But you
I think-
only see you go on Hazard.
I think we're really underestimating the amount of times that Van Dijk saved our asses equally to the amount of times that Salah's put us ahead in so many games as well. I think that's really underrated. You look at the way the guy defends, it helps the entire system. He is the system. The whole team is built around the fact that he can play long balls, he can defend as high, he can defend really highly. The entire team is based around Van Dijk, not Salah. The sooner that people realise that, the better. I think if it's a choice between the two, I'm gonna go the opposite way, and I'm gonna say Van Dijk. Right? I don't subscribe to the Alex Ferguson attack wins you games, defense wins you titles, but the whole premise around having Van Dijk in your team is that he gives you that security to allow you to attack the way that you do. All of a sudden, you take Virgil van Dijk out of the equation, and you have, let's say you have Kanate who has his injury problems, and you bring in another defender who has to play with Kanate as the first defender, the main defender. Then you'll have Quanta that have to come in sometimes with injuries. Gomez will have to come in sometimes with injuries. All of a sudden, you're looking at a brand new back line for Liverpool, right? And it's a lot more difficult to create stability with a back line than results with a forward line, especially at Liverpool, because at least the volume of chances you'll create at Liverpool is going to be astronomical compared to anywhere else. Having Van Dijk at Liverpool is the number one priority, and he revolutionizes the way the Liverpool play, and it's just there's no wrong answer here. If you choose Salah or Van Dijk, there's no wrong answer. I just think he is so important that people don't really realize it that much.
If we let Van Dijk go, I think the club has lost the plot. This ain't even me being emotional, not even nostalgic, it's just straight up facts. This will be one of the most brain dead, self sabotaging decisions we've ever made in our history. Letting our club captain go at this age, he's 33. We can't even make the argument I tried to play with Salah is that, he's probably got a year or two left. Defenders can play until they're in their late 30s. It's not like Van Dijk's gonna all of a sudden lose it. And if we do replace him, there's always that risk if the player not working out. We've seen it with Van Dijk. This guy's come back from an ACL injury and he's gave us top seasons. This season especially, I think people have underrated his season. With our midfield, he gets bypassed easily. The last two line is Van Dijk and Konate. The amount of times these two have saved our asses this season, I think has gone,
Under notice, it's not been noticed.
What message is this send to the fans if we do let Van Dijk go? Will it be, or we don't care about loyalty, we don't care about legacy from FSG to the players, or don't bother committing long term, you'll be signed out once you're 30? I mean, that's the only real reason they're letting Van Dijk go, because it's all I mean, I think it's an awful message if we do let Madai go from FSG, and one that will ripple out throughout the whole squad. All the players that have been there since Van Dijk, they'll be like, oh, okay, he's one of the best players, still playing amazing football, and you just let him go like that. You can't let your captain go out, especially during a transition phase. That's the most important thing during a transition phase. You keep your top players. You keep your Trents, you keep your Salahs, you keep your Van Dijks. All of the other rubbish you can let go. Players that maybe Salah doesn't rate as highly, but there's absolutely no way he doesn't rate them three. So yeah, I think with FSG, okay, they've come in, they've saved Liverpool from being, ruined. They gave us structure, but with FSG, it's like, okay, we don't want to overpay. They see everything as a spreadsheet. It's just annoying. We missed out on players like Jude because it was too expensive. We didn't sign a midfielder in 2022, and that season just collapsed. Where is the ambition? You see clubs like Madrid, they don't hesitate. They gave their star players contracts. They gave Modric a new contract, they gave Cruz a new contract, and then they signed Bellingham and Chouameni. Especially with teams like Bayern as well, they keep their core. Man City even are keeping hold of all their star players. I think the FSG treat us like we're blind, like we just don't see what they're doing. They always drop these lines, or we're planning for the future, we believe in a sustainable model, we want to compete, not overspend, but they're just pocketing revenue from record sponsorship deals, commercial growth, Champions League nights, and ticket of at an all-time high. And they're acting like we're in 2012. We're not. We're one of the biggest clubs in the world. We have to spend to keep on this level, or there will be just clubs that will, overtake us. And I think Klopp covered their flaws for a lot of years. That's one thing I'd give credit for Klopp. I think amazing manager are getting the best out of players, not even amazing players, just players. He took bargaining signings and turned them into monsters. He won everything with our net spend compared to some of the top clubs just blows my mind. Even clubs like West Ham and Everton. And now Klopp's gone, I think the masks off. I think Slott's an amazing manager, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's as good as improving players as Slot is. I think with Slot, you need to give him the players he wants right up. I think Klopp could have, he I think he gave FSG a big blind. I mean, come on, Liverpool is not a crypto investment. We're not a portfolio piece. We're actually a club. I think Trent deserves a lifetime deal. What happened with him? Van Dijk, Salah, they all deserve their good send-offs. You'll never replace the value of legends who gave their prime years to this badge. So come on, FSG, back the icons, lead this rebuild, or just give someone else the keys.
I
And
just
that
say
is
something about
and that
FSG.
is that is Danny's very emotional plea to Liverpool Football Club. Danny, please post a clip of this on your Twitter. You've got so much pull, man. Get it out there. Get it out there.
Bro. FSG, yeah, they're unreal businessmen. They're fucking dickheads, but they're unreal businessmen. They're taking us for a ride, mate. I mean, do you remember that fan cam years ago? Money goes into my piggy bank. That's FSG, innit? But how long have they been our owners? About 15 years, right?
2009, 2010. It's been 15 years now.
Can someone explain to me, yeah? For 15 years, I've gone from a boy with bum fluff, nearly any hair, voice hasn't
Still
even
bum
broke,
fluff
full
now.
puberty, still bum going now. I've got a bit of beard now.
Mashallah.
15 years later, yeah, I'm a grown man now. It's the same argument every summer. FSG need to spend. They only care about net spend. They don't buy players. Blah blah. I'm sick of it. These guys don't care, man. And our fans are flipping cucks. Straight up, they're cucks. They let them get away with this shit. They just sit back and say, "Oh, but they saved us from debt and blah blah blah." Yeah, that was 17 years ago, bro. They're milking us dry for everybody. They're laughing. FSG are laughing. They're laughing at us. And the fact that they're letting three, not only losing one key player, that's a big deal. We're not losing one.
Man.
Two. We're losing three key players. We are fucked. Straight up. There's no like way to sugarcoat it. We're fucked.
And you know what the funny thing is that we're still going to get a league title out of all of this.
Only Liverpool, yeah, can be on the verge of winning a league title, but the fans are still depressed because they know what's to come in the summer. Only Liverpool can do that.
But that's the thing. We want to improve on what we have right now, and I just don't see with FSG how we can improve on what we already have. They're not going to give our star players contracts, and whatever they do sign, it'll be a bargain signing. They'll say, "Oh, we're playing for sustainability." Like, FSG don't really spend on list we have to sell. Let's take the Coutinho deal for example. Do you guys really think we would have signed Allison and Van Dijk if
Absolutely not.
we exactly? So how annoying is that we have to sell in order to buy? They just don't extend legends past 30. They just don't want to compete with City. We are so lucky we had Klopp, a manager that good that could get the best out of them players. This guy, one thing I found hilarious about Klopp is that one time he did spend big was Darwin Nunes,
Oh,
and that yeah man, I just find it annoying.
I think one of the funniest things as well is I remember reading Steven Gerrard's autobiography, and this is obviously when FSG were in charge. They offered him a contract after he'd retired from England because Gerrard wanted to be committed, and they said you're not going to play so many games of football anymore. And you look at the midfielders at the time of what 2014, 15. Gerrard was still the best midfielder out of all of them lot. Like,
Mm.
I can't even remember. I literally can't even remember the midfielders over there. Gerrard was still the best. Probably Coutinho, like on the rise, was improving a lot. But that's the way that they operate. That's the way they have been operating. And it has its ups and downs. Don't get me wrong, it has its pros and it has its cons. I feel like if Klopp had his way, I will talk about Jurgen Klopp in another episode. I feel like we've spoken for too long on the contract situations, which is right. But you look at Klopp's loyalty to some players, it's amazing the way that he's loyal to some players, but sometimes he carries it on too much. If it were up to Klopp, he would have gotten rid of Jordan Henderson. He would have kept Jordan Henderson, sorry, and we wouldn't have signed Szoboszlai, McAllister, Gravenberch, and Endo at the time. We would have kept Fabinho. We would have probably kept Naby Keita. We wouldn't have had that rebuild. I know that Klopp said, "Oh, it's my mistake, and we should have done it." But that kind of mentality from FSG, having to be ruthless when it comes to ages, it has outweighed more good than bad. But this time, it's kind of like throw the playbook out, use what's in front of you. This is not Henderson, Keita, Fabinho. This is Salah, Van Dijk. Don't hate the mick here. Um, I don't know why I'm not really putting Trent in that same conversation. I don't know. I feel like that. I feel like you could still sort of tweak the system with having a more defensive right back and then going somewhere else at left back, for example, someone um who's a bit more creative, like an Eight Nuri, or someone who's defensively stable, like Kirkez. You can kind of rejig the system like that, but you can't rejig the Liverpool system by taking out Van Dijk and Salah. No way.
Yeah.
Bro, FSG drove Klopp to flipping retirement. Let's not forget that as well. Fuck.
Absolutely, 100%. But
FS
part of me also thinks that if he had all the backing in the world, he still would have kept some of these players. So
Listen,
Yeah.
I fully believe FSG would rather finish fourth on a profit than first with investment.
100%.
They see this club as a business model. That's all they see this club as,
because
nothing
they've got all
else.
the American sports make more money for them anyway. They get all the success in the world from them anyway. They don't really need to
That's
focus
crazy.
too much on that. All they've got
Crazy,
is
bro.
Liverpool as a side project. It's like, okay, we've got a loyal fan base that ain't going to say anything to us because as long as we're still meeting certain expectations, such as finishing in top four, then we don't need to worry about anything at all. We just need to put in just a little bit and we'll get so much more out of it. Then we can reinvest into, where the success really matters, where the fans are really going to come after us. Um, and they won't get bought out either. They won't get bought out either because no one no people. If we were going to get bought out by the Saudi lot, right, that would have been in 2010. They would have seen us as a club that really needs improving, a bit more investment. Like FSG only came in because they could really manage and move around the finances. If you're looking at Liverpool wanting to, go onto a longer project, be a absolute juggernaut in the league, the Champions League, consistently every season, then FSG can't be there. If FSG are there, then we're always going to be on the cusp of what could have been. And
FS
and it's always going to be a what could have been. It'll always be, oh, what if Salah signed a new contract? What if Van Dijk did get the contract? What if Trent signed a new contract? We're going to become a club of what ifs now if we don't do anything about it.
Bro, FSG's PR, yeah, is better than mine. They'll say all the right things that you see in statements, yeah. They'll talk about long-term vision, how they respect the transition, but their actions scream something else. All they want to do is maximize value, minimize risk, and treat emotion as a liability. They love the word sustainability. They absolutely love that word. With everything they use that word.
They
I think
love it more than Greta Thunberg.
it's become the shield for every single time they fail to act with ambition. Like in 2023, I think it was when we missed out on Bellingham. They were like, "Oh, it's too expensive for one player." The window before that, when we needed our midfield was in dire state. That summer, they were like, "Oh no, we're waiting for the right profile." The squad falls apart mid-seasons, and we need players for the January window. Same thing. There's not a right profile. It's just so annoying, man. Every window, like, come on, football is not about this. It's about timing. You don't win titles by waiting for the perfect window. You go out and buy the right player. You win it by taking risks, actually backing your manager, and just spending when the moment is there. They missed that moment after we won the league title in 2020. They should have invested heavy that summer. They missed it out again in 2022, and I've got a feeling they might do that again this summer.
Yeah, just
It's
my
only
closing note
yeah.
here on this.
Mm.
Liverpool FC is one of the biggest clubs in the world, the most successful teams with the largest fan bases. Yet, because of our owners, we move like absolute pudus, straight up. And another thing is, like, how long have they been promising this war chest? Yeah, since 2020, am I right? Or
Yeah.
2022?
Mhm.
I think everyone in this flipping video right now will be married by the time we see this flipping war chest that they've got. Well, I hope so.
Bro, I wonder what a war chest is. I reckon it's 50 million. Like I think when we all saw that bid for Moises Caicedo at 100 million last year, like that we do have that money to spend. Why are we not taking the risk on certain players? Like this
As
season,
PR performing, I was performative. The whole Casado thing was just they
yeah,
knew they
it's
were never gonna
performative.
get him.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know. Everything was also it wasn't signed, sealed, and delivered. But man, I just think that to close this entire podcast off, we're definitely going to need to have another conversation in terms of transfers in the summer, what we would like our team to look like, and also to talk a little bit more about Jurgen Klopp because I know Danny's got some really big points to address in that on that. But I feel like it's very important to talk about the importance of these players and how what are FSG doing about this. Um, and in honesty, it's just sweet F all for some part. Um, but yeah, look, guys, that's Mission Podcast, the Liverpool running edition. We wish we could have probably talked a little bit more in terms of the style of football that we've played, but I think it'd be an indictment towards everyone else who listens to this podcast, all five people that listen. It'd be an indictment to them if we don't actually address all the major issues. Um,
Listen, let's just enjoy the end of the season. We're gonna be lifting a league title. We can't
Inshallah,
afford
Boys,
brother.
to.
boys,
I can't. I hate it when man say that, man. I can't. No, I just need to see it happen, bro. I need a C next to the
boys,
name.
boys, boys,
I'm happy, bro.
boys. Salah's got a look at him, man. He's playing a FIFA game. We need to wrap this up, bro.
Okay, wrap this
Bro,
up.
look at him locked in, man.
Serious game going on, bro.
Look at this guy locked in, man. He's not even talking to us, bro.
Okay.
Look at this guy, bro. Look at this guy. He's got work at 5 a.m. in the morning, man, and he's just sat there locked in. All right, listen, appreciate it. Instagram up top, TikTok there, Twitter there, above Carpe's head. And yep, see you for the next episode, whenever that is, if our mums don't shout at us for recording this late at night. See you later. Goodbye.